Hello, Ella.O, the Breath Mama here to do a little getting to know you video for those of you who don't know me, and maybe for those of you who do and maybe don't know me that well. So it's always interesting when we ask someone to tell us about themselves that they tend to tell us or talk about what they do. So with this in mind, I'm gonna focus first on the things that I hold as important and the values that I have in the decisions I make, that motivate how I live and how I interact with others. So these are just, I'm gonna throw out some words about things that I find important or valuable to me and in my life. So family, responsibility, freedom, joy, breath, big one, love, unity, connection, community, integrity, congruence, manifestation, that's a good one, energy, power, love, creation, I think that's good. I think that's a good start. There's probably some I've missed off, but that gives you an idea of the things that motivate me and that I find important to include in my interactions and the choices that I make. So in terms of my story, how I've experienced life, mixed race, young woman growing up in North London. So these two things are quite significant, I feel, in terms of my experience, because being a mixed race person, my mother's American, my father's South African, two very different cultural influences there and cultural experiences in terms of how my parents both grew up as individuals. And that gave me a sort of really clear unconscious understanding and demonstration that we all have the potential to be connected with so many different things in our lives, and no one person, because this was my physical experience, is 100% one way. So we're not all 100% good, we're not all 100% bad. We all have the potential to express the wide range of humanity in how we interact with others and how we live our lives. So that was a really cool thing, cool gift, extra gift about being mixed race, because there's loads, but that was a cool extra gift about being mixed race. And growing up in North London, Northeast London, really reinforced that for me, because I grew up in a cultural melting pot. It was a hotbed of so many different cultural influences. I had friends whose families were from Greece, from Cyprus, both Turkish Cypriot and Greek Cypriot, India, Kenya, excuse me, bit windy, Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, loads of places over Europe, like Italy, Spain, France, Portugal. And these are just the ones I can remember off the top of my head. And it was really cool to connect with people from all these different places in the world who had this, they were bringing different cultural influences, different traditions, different human expressions. And one of the really amazing things for me, being able to interact with friends from all over, or whose families were from all over, was again, it just reinforced for me that we may look slightly different, we may express ourselves slightly differently, but we all have a common thread that we can relate to as human beings and connect with each other. So my experience of Northeast London was a lot of connection, a lot of acceptance, and a lot of community coming together from all different expressions throughout the world, and I really, really loved that. Growing up, there were periods of time when I experienced abuse, violence, and sexual violence, and I was exposed to alcoholism as well. And these experiences were the catalyst for me delving deeper and working to heal myself because of the way that those experiences had affected me. And also having a deeper understanding and compassion, if you like, not just for people who have gone through those types of experiences themselves, but the people who create those experiences for others, not as in a way of like condoning the behavior, but understanding that it's born from a place of pain as well. So that was a really important part of the story of who I am. I started off in performing arts, which, looking back at it now, I loved the arts. I was mainly into drama, and I had such a fabulous time. I did a one-woman show in Holborn, and that was amazing. Lots of different other bits and pieces, and I realised I did that because I didn't feel like I had my own voice. So working as a character and portraying other people was a great way for me to find expression and communication for the words that I didn't have. It's probably why I loved it so much. So started off with that. Then I decided I should get a proper job. And obviously the next logical step from performing arts and drama is to be a lawyer. So I went and studied the law, which, you know what, I had a lot of love for the law in terms of the intellectual stimulation and the arguments that you can get into. That was fun. I did enjoy that. And I got pregnant with my eldest in the second year of my undergraduate, my LLB. Had her in June, went back to uni in September. So timing wise, it couldn't have been better. Completed my undergraduate, started my master's, which I was unable to fully complete due to the violent relationship that I was in at the time, and it prohibited so many things. So there was a bit of a time when I was looking after my daughter, and in between having her and my second one, things escalated in that relationship, and it ended up happening that we moved abroad for a little while to feel safe from that situation. So that was an interesting time, and I may touch on it at some point in the future. When we came back, should I say, I'd had various legal positions that I used to work in, and by far the longest and my most agreeable was when I used to teach law for international students at the University of Hertfordshire. So I did that for quite a while, a few years. I used to teach criminal law, con and ad, European law, company law, business law. Did I do contract? No, I don't think I did. It wasn't my favourite. But that was a great time. Absolutely loved that time in my life. I still speak to a few of the students that I taught and just absolutely loved that time. And during teaching law, I started my first company. So I had an events company with a friend of mine, and we used to do some really fun events. Singles nights were one of them. And they were really cute. And then from the events company, I went on and had a childcare business. Again, that was loads of fun, apart from Ofsted. Don't really like Ofsted. No. Anyway, so that was really cool. Breakfast and after school, holiday club, huge range of children from schools from all over the place, and that was a really, really interesting time, fun time, hard work time. From there, I went on to have a yoga studio. So you can see there's a definite link and progression with all these businesses, but that's another story. Had a yoga studio, absolutely loved that. Then went back into doing some legally focused work for a little while before doing what I do now, natural health focused therapies. So breath work, meditation, sound, energy work, yoga nidra. And I'm having the absolute time of my life. It's a really great learning, interaction, self-development, and a way to connect with other people. So if you have any questions, things you'd like to know, you can ask me. Not saying 100% I will give you all the info, but you can always ask. And what I neglected to say was, I'm really excited for how this channel is going to progress, how we are going to be interacting throughout that progression. Maybe some of the questions you ask will inspire some of the videos that I do. And I don't have a clue what I'm doing technically. And this will be an interesting, hopefully you'll see some type of progression over the time. Hopefully you will be with me, willing me on that journey to improve and to get better. So I just wanted to add that as a PS.